Hello, folks. It's another midweek in the country and around the world. Hello and welcome to the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Today on the program, federal government threatens to sack striking health workers. Former Minister Adeyeye finally joins APC, brands Fayose a dictatorial leader and says Fayemi now a changed man. New PDP members converge again today, insist on meeting the president, and later on we'll share this with you. Governor Okorocha says Udenwa and Ohakim, the governors before him, are selfish leaders. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoje. I greet you, Jide. Welcome. We also have Dare Odufaokon. Welcome, sir.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Not, of course, forgetting Emeka Madunago.
Good evening, viewers. Good evening, sir.
So as you can see, the team is ready. I hope you are. And the Joint Health Sector Union, JOHESU for short, the strike action embarked upon it is 43 days old today. And to say the avoidable action has taken its toll is understating the obvious. For a country that's still counting the prohibitive cost of a long drawn-out strike by university teachers over time across the country, this ongoing downing of tools by 5 key health sector unions deposits a permanent sour taste in the mouth for a traumatized citizenry that holds its short breath. Who blinks first in this battle of nerves? The coming days are as crucial as they are critical. To the federal government, the striking workers have 48 hours to beat a retreat, or else, Jide.
Or else, I have strong doubt that the threat can be carried out because you have so many people to sack. Whether you can do that is a different kettle of fish. And in the past, this kind of threats have been issued, and the workers stood firm. ASU had been threatened in this manner in the past, and they stood firm. Once the workers are united and you are unable to break their ranks, it's difficult for a strike to not succeed. So the success of the strike is dependent on...
Even while you are counting the cost?
Yes.
Okay.
Once they are united, if they prepare very well for it, honestly, no matter the pain, they will carry on, knowing that ultimately, the government will be forced to listen to them.
And a strike action would become the way to go?
It's always been the way to go in Nigeria because governments have a history of getting into agreements with labor unions that in some cases they have no intention of fulfilling. I remember ASU, since 2009, ASU has had this problem. Government will say, okay, we are going to meet your demands. And with every passing year, those demands were not met. So,
sorry, let me quickly ask you, ASU strike and government, who won in the end?
Ongoing.
Well, at that time, it depends on how we look at victory.
It's ongoing.
These people didn't work for more than 6 months and they still got paid. I'm aware that they still got paid.
They got their money.
They still got paid.
That's a victory of sorts.
It's a victory of sorts because at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what did they lose? They didn't work and they still got paid. And they know that
and the students also paid.
The students paid heavily. Now, because the question you asked was between government and ASU. So the Pyrrhic victory actually went to ASU because they got paid. And ASU sat back believing that those agreements that had not been met, one day those agreements will be met. And you can see that the government of Buhari, having inherited that obligation, is doing something about it. So it may not, those demands may not be met immediately, but at least some of them can be met because the demand, for example, that researches should be better funded and all that. I think it's a legitimate demand.
Yeah, okay.
That any
We'll
government
spread but Dari appears not to be convinced by the position taken.
Not really, but rather maybe I have a middle way approach or understanding of what is happening. Sincerely, if we are talking about breaking this strike with this ultimatum, I don't see it happening. The Johesu today, we should not look at just the body. We should look at the workers they represent. The workers are hungry. And any cause or agitation that is built on sentiments are usually very difficult to defeat. The workers feel it's not just about their angst against the government. They see a situation whereby some people or some other stakeholders in their sector are working against government's immediate response to their demands. And when they feel that, we are in this sector together, and when you saw the NMA issuing releases saying Johesu is not a legal body to agitate, saying they should not be paid increment in salary, that is, it's making the issue become very sentimental, and it's getting the workers more angry. And that's why I say, in spite of this ultimatum, I see the workers going all the way, refusing to go back to work. However, in whose interest would that be?
In whose interest?
In whose interest? That's where I take a detour from their stand. I would rather say agitations like strike and other are usually protracted ways of solving problems. You don't solve problems with strikes and agitations in a day. Some of the issues will be resolved. I would say rather than threatening the workers, government should come down from its own Olympian 8. The workers should back down on their hard stance. Hard stance. Find a middle ground before the expiration of that 48 hours.
Yeah.
Something like, okay, we'll go back to work because we want to go, not because we're trying to. However, give us definite time definite course of action.
Dari, I'm sure you have heard this local parlance. Who they fight government win. While you consider that, let me give Emeka, let's look at some of the demands. A review of the retirement age from 60 to 65. Sometimes you are asking, when should a man be retired? Let's play Okocha here, let's cover the field. 60 to 65, legitimate demand?
Yeah, why not? I mean, these are people who are well-trained, highly skilled. They are in very sensitive sectors. So we shouldn't be in a hurry to do away with their services, right? Because there could be the argument that, okay, you should peg it, leave it at 60 so that younger Nigerians can be employed. But I tell you what, the population is expanding. The population is not shrinking, it's expanding. So what it means is that more hands, and then as many skilled hands as possible are needed. So even
without throwing away experience.
Yes. Because that thing affected us under the regime of Babangida. A lot of skilled doctors and health workers left this country. And you find out that in many areas today, we are still lagging behind. It's unfortunate. But let me just quickly chip this in. Before I got here, on my way to this place, I learned that Johesu had called up the strike. And that they said they will resume on Friday, that the National Industrial Court had intervened and said, okay, that it would mediate in the crisis. So that's one of the things I've been praying for. I know after the Senate president had tried and failed, my prayer, my hope was that a neutral party away from the three doctors who are obviously in a position of bias, talking of the Minister of Health, the Minister of State for Health, and the Minister of Labor and Employment.
They are biased?
Well, I didn't say they are biased. I said they are in a position where bias can be construed in their actions.
Bias is what I'm buying.
No, can be construed in their actions. Yes, I use my words. I use my words carefully.
No, it's all right.
Because if you remember, Adewale himself led a strike years ago. He obeyed government ultimatum. Ngige has been in the administrative sector of the Federal Ministry of Health. The Minister of State for
Come to
Health.
think of it, both of them are medical doctors.
In fact, even the Minister of State
Three
for
of
Health.
them are medical
So
doctors.
now, we should also remove the politicization of the health sector, whereby doctors have been made to feel superior to other health workers. That is a major reason why we keep
Okay.
having this crisis.
So another demand, more recruitment to bolster the health sector workforce, Jide.
That's it.
Legitimate.
Yeah, you see, when people want to go on strike, all of these are just like sweeteners. They will add this sweetener so that you say, these are very nice people, you know.
There is
So-
no personal.
Yes, no, that they mean well, you know, it's for the overall good. That is why, you know, because you and I know that there's nothing wrong about recruiting more people into the health sector. And you can see clearly that they've not said that you recruit non-doctors. Because JOSU is the association of non-doctors. Now, they've not said recruit more non-doctors. They are saying recruit more people. So they want to really sound patriotic and all that. The truth is, whether we like it or not, because I've spoken to a lot of them, and they've said that at no time did they ask for pay parity with doctors. All they want is a significant raise in their own wages. But my
But
concern...
they gave no figures.
No, they want significant raise. You know, there are percentages that they're talking about, but they have not said you must pay us.
Must be in
Yeah,
parity
so
with
the issue of
doctors.
pay parity is like a rumor. Like a rumor that some
But
people
how did
invented.
it come out?
And you and I know that it is not practicable to even pay them as much as you are paying doctors. They will bankrupt the government if the government should go ahead and do that. Because one, they are far more numerous than doctors. So if you pay them what you are paying doctors, it's really not going to work. And in my discussion with them, they said, no, we have not asked for pay parity. We just want these people to look at what we earn now and see clearly that we are making legitimate demands.
Look at the total work climate.
Yes, it's just like, you know that even the head of service talked about this. If you work in the Federal Ministry of Education and your colleague that you got into the federal workforce the same time works in the DMO office, honestly,
Debt management
the
office.
difference between your wages will be like night and day. It is what is happening. This is the sort of thing that they are complaining about. The entry.
You entered the civil service. You went into the civil service. Your colleague and mate went to the NNPC. Obviously,
Yes,
there are
yes.
two left
Look,
legs.
when even as a young reporter back then, I remember one guy. He was illiterate, but was an engineer in the NNPC. In our neighborhood in Makira in Kaduna at that time, he was living like a king. And today, that guy has numerous houses in Abuja. He had no education. He could not.
No measure body with him.
No,
Please
we-
don't.
even-
Try not to.
I will not. That's what I'm saying. And then the head of service said, look, we are going to try to address the difference in wages of public servants and civil servants because the difference is huge. As long as we have this kind of situation, people will continue, especially if they know that they are in position of going on strike and putting government in a situation in which the government must listen to them. They will continue to ask for a pay rise.
Gary, what about this demand, implementation of court judgments?
Well, implementation of court judgment,
it's
legitimate.
I'm taking
8 subsisting judgments.
Yeah.
8 subsisting judgments in favor of JOSU.
Yes.
We're asking that it should be implemented. Sincerely, that's a legitimate demand.
Yes.
But however, I quickly want to say that in asking for that, knowing fully that they have made such demand, I expected JOSU to lead by example, sincerely, by obeying the last court injunction that directs that they should go back to work.
Yes.
That would not have taken anything away from the agitation.
You said the court said suspend your strike.
Suspend.
He didn't say you cannot go
Council.
strike.
He didn't even say
Suspend.
Suspend.
Work to
Let and that
negotiations
judgment
can
came
continue.
Yeah.
after hearings, where government and its representatives were willing to go into negotiation. The court did not force. I mean, they listened to both. Oh, if there is the possibility of negotiation, suspend this strike, then go into negotiation. Then, if they had done that, by now we'll be talking about, look, these people have shown government
would have been
how
talking
to
about a middle ground.
Yes.
In fact, they will have shown government itself how to obey court judgments.
It got so bad that even the minister of Labour had to say, see, if you refuse to obey this order, then we'll proscribe it.
Who are you to now
We'll
call for
proscribe
the obedience of earlier judgments? And then, let me also say that judgments, the way they come, if we are saying government disobeyed 8 subsisting judgments.
Yeah.
Now, a judgment has,
time,
over time,
different
a judgment has just been
hospitals.
disobeyed. And that takes preeminence in the
one over
court of public opinion. Oh, a lot of people have forgotten what happened 8, 5, 4, 2, 1 year ago. But they are very much aware of this disobedience. And that's why I am insisting, I'm calling on the SU, before they lose popularity further over agitation that are very legitimate.
Or they lose goodwill.
Before they lose goodwill. And it is about the union leaders, really. They should help their workers, get good footings in this argument. So that government will be forced. And then the timing of strikes at times, we should be cautious. It sometimes takes away the shine from the real...
and in areas too, because the governor of Borno State was saying, see, in the name of God, we are in an area where Boko Haram is bombing people. People
injuries
need
have been
emergency care.
sustained.
They need emergency care. And then you are saying people should go on
Go on
strike.
strike. That's essential.
It will
That's
lead to more
important.
deaths and all that.
In taking this home, Emeka, now let's, without necessarily being on government side, government has cited the Trade Dispute Act, CAP T8, law of the Federation of Nigeria. It says it can do anything it might want to do.
Why do they keep referring to things that will not help
but
the nation?
the law is there.
There's nobody who doesn't know about the law. But let me tell you,
Excepting the striking
the
workers.
the law is not meant to destroy the society. It's meant to uplift the society. And now you don't try to apply the law to help yourself. You're already in breach of obedience to the law. 8 subsisting judgments. And you are quoting another section of the law where you could also be rerouted into another breach of the law. Because if you try to apply the provisions of that section, and they go to court and get a judgment against you, and you don't obey, that is adding to your heap of, disobedience. That's adding to your record.
And then you need an earth mover.
No, what is
to clear the...
No, what is needed? What is needed basically is, like my colleagues have said, for both sides to tread, the middle ground. Fine. Johesu has said they will resume by Friday, which is June 1. Now the National Industrial Court says it will mediate in the dispute. So what I want to believe is this: even the Minister of Health should also tone down his harsh rhetoric. He should tone down. Like Jide said, lives are at risk. It is not about applying. You can apply laws.
As we sit here.
People are dying.
Lives are at risk. So the issue is this: tone down your harsh rhetoric, Professor Adewale.
right.
And what you need to do,
Now, there is no need for
save the
threats in
sector
this issue.
from collapse. There's no need for threats.
was even
Unfortunately,
saying
like
that
you
they
said,
dismiss,
these
medical
people are in the
directors,
position of bias.
medical directors in places where those strikes are effective.
I mean,
so
who will
it's not
replace
their
that?
fault.
Who will you
It's
use
not
to
really
replace
their fault.
Unfortunately, the man talking is a medical doctor.
Yeah.
Who led the strike?
Who led the strikes
No.
and the yes, right?
There's nothing unfortunate about it.
It's unfortunate because if he had been an administrator, those people would not feel he's threatening them.
His
that
years
is
of
some-
activism belong in history. So don't take him back to his years of activism.
I don't moved into the inner room now.
sometimes-
This is a long
These are the
time.
years of
1984 to this time is a long time.
Dari, have you tried wearing 2 different shoe types? If you get it. All right. And the 5 health sectors here, unions: Medical and Health Workers Union, National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Senior Staff Association of Universities, Teaching Hospitals, Research Institutes, Associated Institutions, Nigeria Union of Allied Health Professionals, and Association of Medical Lab Scientists of Nigeria. So we have quite a load. I hope they come to a common ground. All right, then, still to come, former Minister Adeyeye finally joins APC, brands Fayose a dictator, and says Fayemi now a changed man. You believe him? Let's go on this break. We'll be back. All right, then, let's go straight to politics. Of course, you know, in this business, you are told that brinkmanship is a way of life. In our part of the world, politicians have developed the happy knack for dealing many cards at the same time, sometimes with their eyes on the ball. Former Minister of State for Works and erstwhile National Publicity Secretary of the Makarfi-led PDP Caretaker Committee, Prince Dayo Adeyeye, believes it is time to deal a new card by jumping ship. The Ekiti Prince had left the then Action Congress AC in November 2006 when he lost the governorship ticket to then Governor Kayode Fayemi. Could we say our man is like a prodigal son who has returned home?
No, I would say it's just like the average Nigerian politician.
Okay.
Who moves from party to party, who joins the strong party in power. Because even in PDP, we had a rosy time. It was...
Rosy, did you say?
Yes.
Very rosy.
Rosy time.
Rosy.
Because he was adequately compensated in that party.
Heavily.
He was minister, he was board chairman, you know. So, and the party lost power, and within a short time, you are running to the APC. I mean, Nigerian politicians should begin to behave like principled people. There are only a few of them that you can point to who since 1999 have not left their original parties. People like Sule Lamido. He's been in that party since 1999. But you look at people like Jonathan Zingwina from PDP to APC, you know, so just always crossing from one party to another. Once they lose power here, they go to another party. I mean, it doesn't dignify anyone. Yes, he may feel that, okay, Fayose used his position unduly to describe Fayose as notorious for imposition and bringing poverty and unprecedented looting of the people's patrimony and all that. Who is the governor today that is not guilty of imposing people? Well, because those governors that we complained, the problem that we have with the APC primaries is because governors made up their minds that they will shut out those that they do not like. And you find that in some states, other people who are not the side of the governors could not even lay their hands on forms. So you can't lay your hand on the form. How do you contest? So this is what is happening. This is a Nigerian disease. It's a disease of the Nigerian politician. It's not peculiar to Fayose alone.
Jude, you know, one crank asked me, can you tell me a particular politician who, after leaving office, went back to his original vocation? So politics is
I will have to think hard.
Well,
I
think Osinbajo went back to LASU after being commissioner.
But he was not a practicing politician.
He came as a technocrat.
As a commissioner, he was not a politician. It's just like saying Fashola as chief of staff to Tinubu was a politician.
But eventually he became a governor, he became a politician.
No, he's not a politician. He haven't become governor. You know, that was why the party leaders at that time didn't like him. Because they felt, look, he was always blocking them, you know, he was not a thoroughbred politician, not in the recent. And there are still many of them.
Full-time business.
Yes. Do you want to tell me that someone like the Attorney General, for example, of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, you want me to believe he's a politician through and through? Or even Adamu? No, those ones are not politicians. They just made them ministers. Maybe now they can begin to
learn the ropes.
They are not politicians. Buhari brought them in because he had known them for years and because he felt they could do the job for him. Adamu had always been a journalist. You know, they are not politicians. You can be in the cabinet, it doesn't make you a politician. And even the ways of politicians are alien to them. Look at Obi Ezekwesili, who served Obasanjo, starting with the due process office.
Those are not politicians. They
Are not
came in
politicians.
and
Well,
they
they
had
are
to learn.
ministers.
Technocrats.
They could have learnt.
Even now,
Sadly, they
even
didn't.
now, you look at
They are
people.
professionals in politics.
Yes, professionals
something
brought in.
more like that.
That's the sort of person that Oshibajo is. It will take a while before an Oshibajo becomes a die-in-the-wool politician. It will take a while.
Yeah, so last governorship primary in the PDP, Aman Adeyeye lost to Fayoshe's deputy, Professor Ishola. Is it right to conclude that if he won the primary, he would have remained?
Look, let me just put it this way.
Yeah.
Adeyeye simply, I'll say, disappointed me by not disappointing me. I was hoping
Say that line
he
again.
disappointed me by not disappointing me. I'll explain. I was hoping he would disappoint me by staying put in PDP.
And when it was reported 2 weeks ago
I
that
said
he had
no.
defected, he said no.
He said, I even said no, he won't defect. I mean, I expected that he would defect the usual way. But I was hoping that he would disappoint me by staying put. Unfortunately, he disappointed me by not disappointing me. What are we talking about? He contested the primaries and got
And he did well,
good
771
votes.
Yeah.
to
against
1,191.
Fayose in Ekiti PDP. Is as good as having won the election as far as I'm concerned.
Honestly.
Because the way Fayose carried on, few 3-4 days before, he was everywhere saying Adeyeye will not get even the vote of his agents. He said it publicly.
I won't get 50 votes.
He said he will not get the vote of his agents. But the man he went ahead and got 700 and something
71.
votes. Now, having done that, in a party like PDP, one will expect that he has been able to show Fayose that, yeah, I am no pushover.
He's a
and
force.
He will stay.
Yeah.
But because he is a Nigerian politician, the same Adeyeye
Underline Nigerian.
is a Nigerian politician. You see, when we have a problem, let us admit it.
Yeah.
It is not peculiar about Ekiti. Neither is it an Adeyeye problem. It is a Nigerian problem. Adeyeye left the progressives, as we say it, for PDP because he lost a governorship primary. We may need to recall the fact, why did he leave in the fact? He left because he lost the same scenario. He got to PDP, became a minister, got other juicy positions,
Yes, chairman
and he
of
was
government.
hoping, I can say this, that he was hoping that given his pedigree in the current PDP as at that time, Fayose was going to impose him. Note the word, impose. He wanted Fayose to impose him as a candidate of the party. And Fayose only said no.
Fayose wanted somebody else.
He wanted to impose. Let's use the word. That's it.
Okay.
The primary is just...
He even said the primaries were free and fair.
he admitted.
He said it.
That's like-
Actually,
Yes, he
voting
did.
somebody
He
who
stepped down for
he
him.
said
One lady.
Yes,
Olujimi.
Olujimi stepped down for him.
Yes.
He went ahead and got someone, and he said, "Oh, this primary election is free and fair. It
Yes.
satisfies his own yearning."
I guess he was thinking he would win when he said that.
Yes, but after losing, the allures of the ruling party, which must have been smelling very close to his nose all the while, finally got to him, and is now a returning saint.
Dare, let me stop you. Ekiti is on the line. Dare is here. Dare, I greet you. Welcome.
Hello.
Shola. Oh, come on.
Yes.
Shola, welcome.
Good evening.
I greet you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I greet you. I greet
Go on, sir.
Officer and other colleagues in the studio.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You see, Adeyeye leaving PDP at this time in point is a good thing to do at the right time. You see, Adeyeye is coming back to APC to reclaim Ekiti. This is a forces that call Ekiti indigenous to combine forces to remove this tyranny governor. So I think it's the right thing to do at the right time.
Okay. Thank you, Dare.
Not because
Shola, come on. Why is it Dari? Shola has made his point. Emeka, it would have been impolitic for Adeyeye not to have read the political weather. Now he's joining forces with Fayemi.
But he's running a big risk. What if Fayemi doesn't win?
What if he wins?
Fine, what if he wins? And
Emeka,
okay, fine. I want to respond to your
I
question.
agree. You know,
Yes.
there are two tragedies in life. One is getting what you want. The other is not getting it.
Fine. You have helped me to answer the question.
Okay. No.
Which is, okay, if Fayemi wins
It's a gamble.
and has a different agenda from what Adeyeye is expecting, what happens? He will be dumped by the wayside.
What if Fayemi can rely on his support base?
Now, the question
There
is
is
this.
support base.
Now, the question
Adeyeye's
is this.
support
The
base.
question is this.
You can rely on.
Are his supporters going with him to APC?
Oh, yeah. That's what the
That's
man
what
says.
he claims. You see, Nigerian
Fayose just announced that his supporters have, that even one of his two agents
Yeah.
is with him.
What do you expect?
No, that's
What do you-
that. So it's the
Wait,
same.
wait,
Like I
what
said,
do you
you answered.
expect? What
I
do you
said you
expect
helped me
Adeyeye
answer
to
my
say?
question. Because you see, Nigerian politicians will tell you, well,
Yeah,
some
this
will
is
leave
it.
With him, some will not leave.
we're moving with our supporters.
Yeah,
But how many of his supporters? This is a
Very
man who is
little.
not in government.
Yeah.
So if you say you have
He has no
supporters,
patronage.
Good. How much patronage have
Can
you
you
been able to
dole out?
dispense?
No, he dispensed patronage during the primary, so that's why he got those.
Fine, but compared to Fayose, compared to Fayemi, now what you are doing is that you are lining up behind Fayemi,
Fayemi.
hoping maybe to get a federal appointment or maybe
Yeah,
to become a
you-
commissioner.
You are taking it up for us, yeah.
Or maybe hoping to become a commissioner.
Yeah.
Or maybe to even emerge as a
Minister,
deputy
or to
governor.
replace Fayemi as
Or
the
to
minister.
replace Fayemi. But you see, politics is a funny game.
Emeka and I talked about brinkmanship. It must
Yes.
continue. It's
It
a
must
way of
continue.
life.
Of
here.
course.
Yeah.
Nigerian politicians are opportunists.
All right, then. I talked up, still talking politics. I talked about brinkmanship a while ago. Our next story depicts just that. It's an auspicious moment for the ruling APC that is reeling under a demanding internal wrangling. Leaders and members of the new People's Democratic Party, NPDP, in the All Progressives Congress are billed to converge today to review the outcome of their meeting with Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo. They are still aggrieved, and to them, perhaps a meeting with the number one citizen is a last-ditch effort of burying the grievances. Jide.
Yeah, Buhari is the, as the philosophers say, is the measure of all things. As the way things are now, power is so concentrated in the hands of the president that even in his party, once he says he doesn't want a national chairman or any of the NWC members, that person is gone. He is the one who is in position to dispense favors. The favors that these people claim had eluded them in all their years in the APC. He's the one who is in.
But I thought some folks had punctured the claims.
Yes, it's not. It depends on what they think is enough for them. For me, I've always felt that they have, a good number of them have benefited from this administration. They are either governors or senators and all that. A good number of them
Even
have
ministers.
benefited. Ministers.
Ambassadors,
People
yes.
like Amechi who are in the NPDP. They can't say that. You can't tell me that Amechi, as powerful as he is in this administration,
benefited.
has not benefited. He has benefited more than most people. You know,
Immensely.
he does what he likes.
Or maybe
Even
Amechi is
in
not
any-
part of them.
In your estimation.
In his state of Rivers, he does what he likes.
In your estimation.
He can rush because it's my opinion that you always ask. So it's my opinion.
His appointees are occupying juicy positions.
Okay.
Some of the juiciest.
If he lies today, he can say they should go and lock up a court in Rivers State. Has he not done it? It's on record that he has done it. So that's why I'm saying that.
Who doing
in
it,
the
we may
same-
not know, but it happened.
Who done it?
Who doing it, we may not know, but it happened.
People who are lower than him are incapable of doing such things.
Nothing happened after
That is to tell you how influential he is in the
how
administration.
much he has
He's very
benefited.
influential and he's an NPDP man, whether we like it or
Or
not.
maybe he's not an NPDP.
Once you got into the Senate as an NPDP man, that is something that you've benefited from this administration.
And he became a
Because
Senate
so you cannot
president.
say that Kwankwaso, for example, was not in the Senate before 2015. But after 2015, he contested an election and got into the Senate. And many of them are occupying big
positions
and strategic committee
seats.
chairmanships in the Senate. People like Danjuma Goje, for example.
Yeah.
They've been given a plum
Gary, it prompts the question of, so what do they want?
So I read a press statement accusing these NPDP chieftains of various degree of hypocrisy. I had to read this press statement like thrice for me to agree with the content. And when I did, I perfectly had no doubt that probably the authors of that press statement must have read, between the lines. Or how would you explain the NPDP component of APC alleging that they've not benefited? They hold the number 3 position in the country, the Senate presidency.
Number 4.
Number
3, number 4.
No.
Number 4.
Speaker, yes.
Dogara.
Speaker,
Oh, yes.
NPDP, yes, I was even looking at the deputy.
No, the
number
deputy
4.
Senate
There is
president is
five.
number 5. Yeah.
Number 3, number 4.
4.
Meaning the others. And don't forget that the
And these are,
NPDP
be here this, they are potential numbers 1 and 2.
Look at it this way.
Yes.
We may not even. NPDP is one of the 5 or 6 components of APC. So if we are to even put down the positions and share, if we are to be fair, if it is to be equitably distributed, would one component out of 6 be taking 2? Meaning they have even taken more than their fair share. And yet they are the ones complaining.
The argument is always that, that one, the Senate presidency that they got.
But they got it.
They got it without the support of the party.
But they are
hierarchy
occupying the
and all
position
that.
now.
So
Now, my
because
take
the
is
question
this.
will be, so who is number 3? They say, but now your man.
Who is number 4?
Now your man.
Now,
So what do you want again?
so asking what they want.
So they
I
want-
am
they want
afraid
some-
that what they actually want is 1, more than their fair share, which should be difficult to get. 2, threaten the polity that is called APC as we approach the 2019 election to continue what I think is the imbalance they have imposed on the party. For example, if Kasaraki's camp is complaining of being sidelined at the national, what has it done in Kwara? The whole of Kwara, there are the other components, the CPC, the Action Congress, ACN, not even any form of patronage, according to what we see in Kwara. The NPDP took everything there, yet he's
man for
complaining.
the country.
So he can do what he likes in his home state.
Beyond
Then the
the-
number 1 man is Buhari. He should be able to do what he likes in the country.
Beyond even the demand for posts, I think there are some basic guarantees that they want.
Yes.
For example,
Yes.
Bukola Saraki is on trial now.
They want his trial quashed.
They want a situation. When they talk about being marginalized and people being threatened and all that, they are referring to Bukola Saraki on trial.
Yes, correct.
And I learned that this issue has been brought up.
Yeah.
Even in these meetings, they've
said
had a
it.
series of these meetings. This issue has been brought up. They want guarantees that before we go for this election, that the president will
worry
say,
this man
okay, since Bukola won that last case,
Don't
that
appeal it.
this they will not appeal and the matter will just die a natural death.
Yeah.
Whether Buhari will agree
It's another issue.
to such
Intervene.
demand is another thing, but it is at the heart of their demand.
Jide, mine is influence is like a bank account. The more you draw from it, the less you have left. Peter is here in Lagos. How are you, Peter? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, Jide and the crew.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really greet you people, and I pray that God will continue to strengthen you people in Jesus' name.
Amen. And you too. God bless you.
Yeah, I want to start from my state, Imo State. I have a message for Roger Okorocha. What we want in Nigeria is good governance.
Peter, I must cut in here. We have a story on Imo. You just wait for it, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Emeka, in taking this home, I just talked about influence.
Yes.
being like a bank account,
yes.
and approaching an election.
Yes.
Haven't you heard this? They're just flying a kite. They won't defect to, you never hear things like that?
Yeah, of course, I don't blame them.
Is that they're playing a waiting game.
I don't blame them. It's not easy to betray the kingpin of your party in favor of another person, and then you are just stay as ordinary servants. These people betrayed Jonathan, helped to push Jonathan out, and Buhari came in. So you should expect that they will not just want to be shop floor attendants. They may be occupying number 3 and number 4. But you see, they need politicians in Nigeria are professionals. They live off politics. So they must guarantee their stay in power. They must guarantee their continued influence. Otherwise, it's not just about occupy. Okay, fine, if Bukola Saraki is Senate president, wouldn't he want to come back as Senate president? You don't want him to run for president. You don't want him to challenge Buhari. Now, do you want him to just go away and retire to Ilorin? No, he wants to come back as Senate president. Would he want to come back as an ordinary senator? The answer is no.
What Dogara's governor did to him in the primaries.
So when you look at all those things, definitely they wouldn't also want to be disgraced, because by the time the primaries for the primary, the primaries for the various positions will come up, nobody will want to be left out. Do you think Dogara would want his governor to deny him a ticket, or Saraki or any of them who want their governors to deny them of tickets? No. So that is also a major reason why they want to see the president, so that the president will assure them that, listen, I will sit you down with the governors. Whatever the grievances are, we'll sort out those grievances behind closed doors, and so that everybody will get a fair share.
Emeka, there's a crazy footnote here. So where's the national interest in all of this?
Well, the national interest exists so long as the politicians are happy.
Okay. It exists in the interest of the politicians.
They must be happy for national interest to be up there. Okay, then, in politics, you cannot be socially awkward or lead the life of a recluse. But I hear it helps if you have money and you are influential. Imo State Governor, I hope Peter likes this, Imo State Governor Rochas Anayo Okorocha may appear to be a lone ranger in the power equation, but he leaves nobody in doubt that he is riding the political storm in his beloved Imo State. At a public event in Owerri yesterday, that's the state capital, Rochas Anayo Okorocha played down the factional APC coalition alliance and says embattled party chairman Chief John Odige Oyegun is on a vengeance mission because he is opposed to an elongation of his stay as the party chairman. Jide?
It's what I've said for 3 weeks, that he's saying that he's being made to pay for opposing the elongation of the tenure of Oyegun. That Oyegun has.
He would have been listening to you.
It's clear that is why they treated him like that, because he's not the only governor in town now. Now Oyegun has chosen to side with the people he described as dissidents because he refused to support his tenure elongation plan. And no doubt about it, when a governor of a state did not know where the primaries of his party, the World Congress of his party, was going to take place, and he's supposed to be in charge.
Chief Security Officer.
He's supposed to be the Chief Security Officer. And he was looking frantically everywhere. Where are these people meeting? Open that door. Is that where they are doing it? You know? He didn't know. Because the organizing, the party leadership, you know, decided to work with elements opposed to him. And the elements opposed to him shielded the information about where the World Congress will take place away from the governor. So the governor was marooned, so to say. He was marooned at sea. While the World Congress took place, they effectively shut him out. And the representative of INEC
was there.
Supervised the World Congress that the governor was not aware was taking place. So,
Are you sure he was truly not aware
Oh, he was
If
the
he-
drama.
if-
the
if
drama
an
was-
If he was
He
aware,
will storm the
if he was aware, he would have called the shots.
He will storm the place.
Yes.
Didn't you see
You're
the
right.
video of the governor saying, open that
that
door,
door, yes.
open that door, because he got information that the man who was supposed to organize the thing was there. He was looking everywhere for them. This is no secret. They effectively, it was after the act that they announced where the Congress took place.
Oh, boy.
That's why I said that the congresses of the APC that were held in the last few weeks, they treated them like the venues were more or less like Igbale. We are masquerades, Yoruba masquerades undress. You know, it is not known to everyone.
Or it may be.
Women can't know, you can't go into Igbale. You know, if you are an Ogberi,
Non-initiates.
if you are non-initiates cannot go.
Igbale Ogbe. What do they mean?
Igbale.
In BBO. What do they mean?
May I understand it? So if you are not initiated,
non-initiates.
you can't walk out, walk into an Igbale. So
yeah.
some of those venues
He
were
was
treated like
a
that.
non-initiate.
That you have to be a member of the cult. You have to be a member of
particular
the group before you know where the thing was. So many people.
Again, the blame game tells you Oyegun is still powerful.
At that point,
Until he leaves.
Oyegun, even up to this moment, can be likened to a snake cut in half until it is dead.
That's when the snake is most dangerous.
Most dangerous. Until it is dead. That
Have you
snake-
caught him?
Yes, Oyegun is cut in half, obviously.
Oh, you okay?
But
he has.
like that snake I just described, he will go for those he can get.
At least before he
Okorocha
goes.
fell into that category.
Of the snake.
Of the victim.
Of the-
Okay.
A decapitated snake.
Yeah.
But while a lot of people may want to pity him, I don't. And I'll say it is because he got. If Okorocha, you will recall that Okorocha was one of the promoters of the elongation tenure at the beginning. At the first instance, he was one of those promoting it until Buhari came out to throw spanner into the works. And he made a detour.
No, that can't be wrong, because sometimes we take a decision without
But-
knowing the implications.
What I'm trying to say is that he was one of the main people Oyegun was banking on to pull this through.
But Jide must know that politicians deal many cards
A lot
at the
of
same
cards.
time.
Same time, yeah.
So he dealt the card.
Even me,
that
I
appeared
felt that, look, there was no need for a Congress when you look at, because I knew that APC had so much crisis,
Seriously.
and that the best thing for them to do was
just
to
find a way around.
But when the president now talked about the legal implications, as explained to him by the vice president,
Yes.
I knew that it was dangerous to
continue with
because people will go to court.
So in agreeing with that, that is.
So there were many governors too. You know, many of those governors too supported elongation, but they came back.
It is only in Nigeria you see things like this. I will explain. Abroad, people have told this line. In America, we've seen people towing a particular line ideologically, and there is overriding reason to turn. You don't find such people at the forefront of the other idea almost immediately. Okorocha threw cautions the wind.
No. This
and he
one
was in the
is hold
forefront.
on. You see,
I know
he was the chairman. He is the chairman of the governors forum.
And Oyegun felt,
Abi?
what kind of abandonment is this? And now, don't forget that even before now, Izunazo and Okorocha have been having running battles.
Oh, yeah.
And one of those who have kept Okorocha afloat over Izunazo has been Oyegun.
So
Constantly
put simply,
interfere.
Okorocha is riding that storm for the moment.
He is, and
Now-
I see how we can only wait to see how far.
Gentlemen, our colleague here, Emeka, is from neighboring Anambra State.
My wife is from Imo.
Oh, good.
Oh, come on. So now, Governor Okorocha blames the previous two governors, Hakim and Udenwa, before he came. He said what he has achieved in 7 years far outstrips what the two of them had accomplished. You want to take that to the bank?
Well, Hakim had just one term. Udenwa had 2 terms. Rochas has had two.
So you are talking 12 years.
terms.
12 years.
Sorry, you mean
12 years, 8
No,
plus
no,
4,
both
12.
of them, they were not co-governors. Son. They were running. They ran separate.
That's what
Yeah,
he
but we are
said. He
saying the same thing. He said in 7 years.
No, he can.
No,
he
he's
shouldn't,
building
he shouldn't
up
try,
something. Let him talk.
He shouldn't try to lump the two of them together because even the circumstances under which he, Rochas, came to become governor was the fact that there was a groundswell of opposition to Hakeem. Unfortunately,
Yes.
for him. But Udenwa, if you want to compare yourself with anybody, compare yourself with Udenwa, who was there for 8 years, not with Hakeem. Hakeem never had breathing space. He had a lot of problems throughout that single term.
Self-inflicted.
He had so many problems.
Self-inflicted. Did you
Yes,
hear that?
well,
Self-inflicted.
unfortunately,
And he
that's why I
had
said it was
beating up,
unfortunate. He had a lot of problems.
bishops and
But the
all
other thing is that also Rochas himself, Rochas has not managed his image very well. He has not managed his relationship. And I also have a feeling that this problem he's having may be a carryover from issues he may have had with Oyegu in AMPP. If you remember how Rochas was throwing himself around in AMPP at that time.
In the build-up, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Oyegu was also there, was also in AMPP. So what I see is
But he was a good boy.
was he? He wasn't really. Remember the convention? Was it not the convention of was it PDP in Eagle Square where Rochas came with one funny car, and after they had agreed on certain things, and
That was PDP,
he almost torpedoed.
against,
So you find out that he also needs to work with other elements. Okay, you say Odenwa is bad, Hakeem is bad, Ararume
How
is
about
bad,
your own people,
Zulaso is bad.
your own
The
deputy, your own
leaders,
this-
even your deputy,
Madumere.
Madumere is bad. Come on.
The chairman of the party
How
in the
can
state,
you, a
the
governor,
deputy, they all
how
went
can you
against
fight
him.
everybody and
He
you hope,
lost the chairman
and
of
you
his
hope,
party.
and you see, it was also, now, you should
How
have
many
learned,
governors so
you should
far
have learned
suspect?
from the governor of your state, from the former governor of your state, Atta, who
Barry.
tried to impose his son-in-law.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
unfortunately for him,
didn't work.
the forces
So
are
it
like
hardly
against
works.
him. They are so
People
formidable.
don't like
They
that.
don't like
So it didn't work. He should have learned
Donald
from
Jan
it.
too wanted
Donald
to
Jan
impose
was
his
there.
policy.
Yeah.
Yes, and it didn't work.
I think
Talk about it. Let's bury this.
Yeah, I think that whichever way we look at it, Korocha should have been able to manage the people working with him, not just his image, the people around him. I think a situation
manage your
manage
kitchen.
them, yes.
Your kitchen.
Have
You-
them
you
on
don't
your
put
side.
an enemy in the
Have
kitchen.
them on your side. Whatever happens, keep these people on your side. That is what people like Tinubu have done for years. Yes. You hardly find dissenters. Whatever action it takes, even if many people do not like it, somehow they will agree,
Yeah.
and then the whole thing will die
And
down.
you don't need a certificate from Harvard.
No.
It's
To do
just
that,
to read.
it's just man management.
Yeah.
I do not. If I face him, I will ask him, how did it happen that your deputy went against you, worked for these people, the chairman of your party, the deputy chairman of your party, when we all know that it's governors who run the parties in their states.
Yeah.
And then you lost out to all these people.
Unfortunately.
So if there was something that those people didn't want,
Yeah.
at a point, you should have sacrificed that thing rather than allow yourself to be put in this kind of unhealthy situation.
Okay, we take it on from that point and say thank you, gentlemen. Jide, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Dare, let's see you again. Emeka.
Thank you very much.
You are an Imo Ogo. Ogo means in-law.
Proud Ogo.
Yeah, proud Ogo. Okay, then, that's our program for today. 14 days of Ramadan, so 16 to go. I wish all the Muslim faithful very well. All right, join us for another program tomorrow, but watch a repeat broadcast of this particular edition at 11 tonight and on all platforms showing on your TV now. And of course, on YouTube at youtube.com//TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel remains the same. Meantime, I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye. God bless Nigeria.